Baselinker allows you to create sales documents such as receipts and invoices. We can also automate issuance of these documents. Let's go to the Orders tab, Automatic Actions. We will add a new group of actions that will apply only to issuing sales documents. Let's call this group Invoices/Receipts. Click Save, and we move on to Automatic Actions. The trigger event for issuing documents will depend on when we want these documents to be created. Let's consider a scenario where orders get processed in such a way that after packing, their status changes to packed, and then we create a sales document. For such orders within the packed status, and then after the package ships, within the shipped status, we want these documents to be emailed to the customer. So let's choose Add Automatic Action, and here we select Status has been sent, set status to packed. We can determine at what point this document is to be created, as well as the next steps post-issuance of such a document. Actions are not limited to changing status. We can create a document when an order is packed or picked. In such a scenario, we will issue an invoice. So let's add another condition. Let's go to the event group related to documents, here. Let's see what options we have. The customer wants an invoice, invoice status, invoice numbering series, correction status. The same goes for receipts. Next, we can set an action that will work for selected accounting systems when creating an invoice within those systems and forwarding it to the Baselinker system. However, this action will not work with every accounting system. In some cases, another action must be applied, invoice forwarded to an external system. This will also work for ERP and integration programs that use communication via the AP key, and when we manually add an invoice to our invoice list in Baselinker. Other events include invoice and forwarded to source, and receipt forwarded to external system. To achieve our original goal, let's choose the condition Client wants an invoice, yes, because we will only issue an invoice if a customer requested such an invoice. Let's add one more condition here to account for the fact that just because a customer requested an invoice does not mean that they will receive it. For example, not all customers include in the order information their VAT registration number. So here, in the Other Events section, we can select VAT registration number and the value VAT registration number given. That is, if the customer requested an invoice and provided the VAT registration number, then we will be able to issue an invoice. Let's choose the action to be performed. Issue an invoice, indicate the series of numbering for VAT rate. We can choose the following numbering series or use the rate assigned to the product from the order, or find the value ourselves. Let's select the value from the numbering series. Likewise, for the issuer, we can follow the invoice series value from an employee profile or assign a value we define ourselves. For this demonstration, let's follow the value set in the invoice numbering series. Let's assign this new action to the Invoices/Receipts group and click Save. Let's add another action. Again, status has been set. Choose Packed once again. Let's add a condition to account for the scenario when a customer requested an invoice but did not provide their VAT registration number. The customer wants an invoice equals yes. Then add another condition, VAT registration number. And here, no VAT registration number given. Those sellers who only issue invoices and do not have receipts will also issue an invoice. It will simply be at the customer's name rather than their VAT registration number. Some other sellers, however, only issue receipts, yet others will issue both invoices and receipts. It will all depend on the exact accounting arrangements with service providers. For the sake of the example, let's assume that we issue both a receipt and an invoice. Select Issue Invoice as the action to perform. VAT rate as according to the numbering series, same for the issuer field, and add another task to perform, Issue Receipt, with default numbering series, and add it to the Invoice and Receipt group. Click Save. Now, on to the third scenario. Select Status has been set as Packed. Add another condition, and this time the customer did not request an invoice. So in the Documents Events list, For customer wants an invoice, pick No. If that happens and we don't have to issue an invoice, then we simply issue a default receipt. Again, add the action to the invoice and receipt group. Of course, the exact moment when the document is created depends on what the user wishes to achieve. This action can be performed at any time. We only demonstrated a single scenario when a status change triggered issuance of all types of documents. If we had multiple series of invoice numbering, we could issue invoices based on additional information. In this demonstration, we have two numbering series, default and 1. For example, if we want the default series to be issued only for domestic customers, we must add another condition here, called delivery country. Here, we can input any country. Let's assume it is the UK. Then we can write United Kingdom. We can additionally introduce another condition, source of the order. If we want a given invoice to be issued only for a given source of order, for example, only for orders originating from eBay, in sum we added two more conditions. A series of default numbering will be issued only for UK orders originating from eBay. For another country or block of countries, we can select the European Union as well and have the numbering series 1 applied to orders from the EU. Finally, let's set up an automatic action to issue a correction. Let's add an automatic action. Let's determine that the correction will be issued for a specific status. That is, the status has been set. And pick from this list the status Return Started. When an order moves to the Return Started status, we want to issue an appropriate document with correction. Let's select Issue Correction. Select the default numbering series as the default option for corrections. Then we must specify what changes should take place, whether we want the data to be corrected. We can copy the data from the order, as well as correction items. We have three options to choose from. Copy current products from the order. Copy the current products from the order with keeping the VAT rates from the invoice. And reset quantity for all items. Return in brackets. Let's select the last option. Next, after creating a correction, do we want to pass it to integrated accounting systems? We can select Yes or No. These are providers like QuickBooks, Xero, or FreeAgent. Next, choose the issuer. Let's pick the value from the invoice, and then stop after failure equals yes. We can also add a task to send the correction to the customer. Add a task to perform Send Email. We must indicate the desired email template that we want to use. The correction will be sent as an attachment to this email. We can also print it out or send in Slack message.